Humanum Genus encyclical of Pope Leo XIII on Freemasonry, to the patriarchs, primates, archbishops, and bishops of the Catholic world in grace and communion with the Apostolic See, the race of man, after its miserable fall from God, the Creator and the giver of heavenly gifts, through the envy of the devil, separated into two diverse and opposite parts, of which the one steadfastly contends for truth and virtue, the other are those things which are contrary to virtue and to truth. The one is the kingdom of God on earth, namely, the true Church of Jesus Christ, and those who desire from their heart to be united with it, so as to gain salvation, must of necessity serve God and His only begotten Son with their whole mind and with an entire will. The other is the kingdom of Satan, in whose possession and control are all whosoever follow the fatal example of their leader and of our first parents, those who refuse to obey the divine and eternal law, and who have many aims of their own in contempt of God, and many aims also against God. This twofold kingdom St. Augustine keenly discerned and described after the manner of two cities, contrary in their laws because striving for contrary objects, and with a subtle brevity he expressed the efficient cause of each in these words: two loves formed two cities, the love of self, reaching even to contempt of God, an earthly city, and the love of God, reaching to contempt of self, a heavenly one. At every period of time each has been in conflict with the other, with a variety and multiplicity of weapons and of warfare, although not always with equal ardor and assault. At this period, however, the partisans of evil seems to be combining together, and to be struggling with united vehemence, led on or assisted by that strongly organized and widespread association called the Freemasons. No longer making any secret of their purposes, they are now boldly rising up against God Himself. They are planning the destruction of Holy Church publicly and openly, and this with the said purpose of utterly despoiling the nations of Christendom, if it were possible, of the blessings obtained for us through Jesus Christ our Savior. Lamenting these evils, we are constrained by the charity which urges our heart to cry out often to God. For lo, thy enemies have made a noise, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken a malicious counsel against thy people, and they have consulted against thy saints. They have said, Come, and let us destroy them, so that they be not a nation. At so urgent a crisis, when so fierce and so pressing an onslaught is made upon the Christian name, it is our office to point out the danger, to mark who are the adversaries, and to the best of our power to make head against their plans and devices, that those may not perish whose salvation is committed to us, and that the kingdom of Jesus Christ entrusted to our charge may not stand and remain whole, but may be enlarged by an ever-increasing growth throughout the world. The Roman pontiffs, our predecessors, in their incessant watchfulness over the safety of the Christian people, were prompt in detecting the presence and the purpose of this capital enemy immediately it sprang into the light instead of hiding as a dark conspiracy, and, moreover, they took occasion with true foresight to give, as it were on their guard, and not allow themselves to be caught by the devices and snares laid out to deceive them. The first warning of the danger was given by Clement XII in the year 1738, and his constitution was confirmed and renewed by Benedict XIV. Pius VII followed the same path, and Leo XII, by his apostolic constitution, Quo Gravera, put together the acts and decrees of former pontiffs on this subject, and ratified and confirmed them forever. In the same sense spoke Pius VIII, Gregory XVI, and, many times over, Pius IX. For as soon as the constitution and the spirit of the Masonic sect were clearly discovered by manifest signs of its actions, by the investigation of its causes, by publication of its laws, and of its rites and commentaries, with the addition often of the personal testimony of those who were in the secret, this apostolic see denounced the sect of the Freemasons, and publicly declared its constitution, as contrary to law and right, to be pernicious no less to Christendom than to the state, and it forbade anyone to enter the society, under the penalties which the Church is wont to inflict upon exceptionally guilty persons. The sectaries, indignant at this, thinking to elude or to weaken the force of these decrees, partly by contempt of them, and partly by calumny, accused the sovereign pontiffs who had passed them either of exceeding the bounds of moderation in their decrees or of decreeing what was not just. This was the manner in which they endeavored to elude the authority and the weight of the apostolic constitutions of Clement XII and Benedict XIV, as well as of Pius VII and Pius IX. Yet, in the very society itself, there were to be found men who unwillingly acknowledged that the Roman pontiffs had acted within their right. According to the Catholic doctrine and discipline, the pontiffs received the same assent, and in strong terms, from men of princes and heads of governments, who made it their business either to delegate the Masonic Society to the Apostolic See, or of their own accord by special enactments to brand it as pernicious, as, for example, in Holland, Austria, Switzerland, Spain, Bavaria, Savoy, and other parts of Italy. But, what is of highest importance, the course of events has demonstrated the prudence of our predecessors, for their provident and paternal solicitude had not always and everywhere the result desired, and this, either because of the simulation and cunning of some who were active agents in the mischief, or else of the thoughtless levity of the rest who ought, in their own interest, to have given to the matter their diligent attention. In consequence, the sect of Freemasons grew with a rapidity beyond conception in the course of a century and a half, until it came to be able, by means of fraud or of audacity, to gain such entrance into every rank of the state as to seem to be almost its ruling power. This swift and formidable advance has brought upon the Church, upon the power of princes, upon the public well-being, precisely that grievous harm which our predecessors had long before foreseen. Such a condition has been reached that henceforth there will be grave reason to fear, not indeed for the Church, for her foundation is much too firm to be overturned by the effort of men, but for those states in which prevails the power, either of the sect of which we are speaking or of other sects not dissimilar which lend themselves to it as disciples and subordinates. For these reasons we no sooner came to the helm of the Church than we clearly saw and felt it to be our duty to use our authority to the very utmost against so vast an evil. We have several times already, as occasion served, attacked certain chief points of teaching which showed in a special manner the perverse influence of Masonic opinions. Thus, in our encyclical letter, Quod Epistola Muneris, we endeavored to refute the monstrous doctrines of the socialists and communists. Afterwards, in another beginning Arcanum, we took pains to defend and explain the true and genuine idea of domestic life, of which marriage is the spring and origin, and again, in that which begins Deuteronomy, we describe the ideal of political government conformed to the principles of Christian wisdom, which is marvelously in harmony, on the one hand, with the natural order of things, and, in the other, with the well-being of both sovereign princes and of nations. It is now our intention, following the example of our predecessors, directly to treat of the Masonic Society itself, of its whole teaching, of its aims, and of its manner of thinking and acting, in order to bring more and more into the light its power for evil, and to do what we can to arrest the contagion of this fatal plague. There are several organized bodies which, though differing in name, in ceremonial, in form and origin, are nevertheless so bound together by community of purpose and by the similarity of their main opinions, as to make in fact one thing with the sect of the Freemasons, which is a kind of center whence they all go forth, and whither they all return. Now, these no longer show a desire to remain concealed, for they hold their meetings in the daylight and before the public eye, and publish their own newspaper organs, and yet, when thoroughly understood, they are found still to retain the nature and the habits of secret societies. There are many things like mysteries which it is the fixed rule to hide with extreme care, not only from strangers, but from very many members, also, such as their secret and final designs, the names of the chief leaders, and certain secret and inner meetings, as well as their decisions, and the ways and means of carrying them out. This is, no doubt, the object of the manifold difference among the members as to right, office, and privilege, of the received distinction of orders and grades, and of that severe discipline which is maintained. Candidates are generally commanded to promise, nay, with a special oath, to swear, that they will never, to any person, at any time or in any way, make known the members, the passes, or the subjects discussed. Thus, with the fraudulent external appearance, and with a style of simulation which is always the same, the Freemasons, like the Manichees of old, strive, as far as possible, to conceal themselves, and to admit no witnesses but their own members. As a convenient manner of concealment, they assume the character of literary men and scholars associated for purposes of learning. They speak of their zeal for a more cultured refinement, and of their love for the poor, and they declare their one wish to be the amelioration of the condition of the masses. and to share with the largest possible number all the benefits of civil life. Were these purposes aimed at in real truth, they are by no means the whole of their object. Moreover, to be enrolled, it is necessary that the candidates promise and undertake to be thenceforward strictly obedient to their leaders and masters with the utmost submission and fidelity, and to be in readiness to do their bidding upon the slightest expression of their will, or, if disobedient, to submit to the direst penalties and death itself. As a fact, if any are judged to have betrayed the doings of the sect or to have resisted commands given, punishment is inflicted on them not infrequently, and with so much audacity and dexterity that the assassin very often escapes the detection and penalty of his crime. But to simulate and wish to lie hid, to bind men like slaves in the very tightest bonds, and without giving any sufficient reason, to make use of men enslaved to the will of another for any arbitrary act, to arm men's right hands for bloodshed after securing impunity for the crime, all this is an enormity from which nature recoils. Wherefore, reason and truth itself make it plain that the society of which we are speaking is in antagonism with justice and natural uprightness, and this becomes still plainer, inasmuch as other arguments, also, and those very manifest, prove that it is essentially opposed to natural virtue. For, no matter how great may be men's cleverness in concealing and their experience in lying, it is impossible to prevent the effects of any cause from showing, in some way, the intrinsic nature of the cause whence they come. A good tree cannot produce bad fruit, nor a bad tree produce good fruit. Now, the Masonic sect produces fruits that are pernicious and of the bitterest savor. For, from what we have above most clearly shown, that which is their ultimate purpose forces itself into view, namely, the utter overthrow of that whole religious and political order of the world which the Christian teaching has produced, and the substitution of a new state of things in accordance with their ideas, of which the foundations and laws shall be drawn from mere naturalism. What we have said, and are about to say, must be understood of the sect of the Freemasons taken generically, and insofar as it comprises the associations kindred to it and confederated with it, but not of the individual members of them. There may be persons amongst these, and not a few who, although not free from the guilt of having entangled themselves in such associations, yet are neither themselves partners in their criminal acts nor aware of the ultimate object which they are endeavoring to attain. In the same way, some of the affiliated societies, perhaps, by no means approve of the extreme conclusions which they would, if consistent, embrace as necessarily following from their common principles. Did not their very foulness strike them with horror? Some of these, again, are led by circumstances of times and places either to aim at smaller things than the others usually attempt or than they themselves would wish to attempt. They are not, however, for this reason, to be reckoned as alien to the Masonic Federation, for the Masonic Federation is to be judged not so much by the things which it has done, or brought to completion, as by the sum of its pronounced opinions. Now, the fundamental doctrine of the naturalists, which they sufficiently make known by their very name, is that human nature and human reason ought in all things to be mistress and guide. Laying this down, they care little for duties to God, or pervert them by erroneous and vague opinions, for they deny that anything has been taught by God. They allow no dogma of religion or truth which cannot be understood by the human intelligence, nor any teacher who ought to be believed by reason of his authority. And since it is the special and exclusive duty of the Catholic Church fully to set forth in words truths divinely received, to teach, besides other divine helps to salvation, the authority of its office, and to defend the same with perfect purity, it is against the Church that the rage and attack of the enemies are principally directed. In those matters which regard religion, let it be seen how the sect of the Freemasons acts, especially where it is more free to act without restraint, and then let anyone judge whether in fact it does not wish to carry out the policy of the naturalists. By a long and persevering labor, they endeavor to bring about this result, namely, that the teaching office and authority of the Church may become of no account in the civil state, and for this same reason they declare to the people and contend that Church and State ought to be altogether disunited. By this means they reject from the laws and from the Commonwealth the wholesome influence of the Catholic religion, and they consequently imagine that states ought to be constituted without any regard for the laws and precepts of the Church. Nor do they think it enough to disregard the Church, the best of guides, unless they also injure it by their hostility. Indeed, with them it is lawful to attack with impunity the very foundations of the Catholic religion. in speech, in writing, and in teaching, and even the rights of the Church are not spared, and the offices with which it is divinely invested are not safe. The least possible liberty to manage affairs is left to the Church, and this is done by laws not apparently very hostile, but in reality framed and fitted to hinder freedom of action. Moreover, we see exceptional and onerous laws imposed upon the clergy, to the end that they may be continually diminished in number and in necessary means. We see also the remnants of the possessions of the Church fettered by the strictest conditions, and subjected to the power and arbitrary will of the administrators of the state, and the religious orders rooted up and scattered. But against the Apostolic See and the Roman Pontiff the contention of these enemies has been for a long time directed. The Pontiff was first, for specious reasons, thrust out from the bulwark of his liberty and of his right, the civil princedom. Soon, he was unjustly driven into a condition which was unbearable because of the difficulties raised on all sides. And now the time has come when the partisans of the sects openly declare, what in secret among themselves they have for a long time plotted, that the sacred power of the pontiffs must be abolished, and that the papacy itself, founded by divine right, must be utterly destroyed. If other proofs were wanting, this fact would be sufficiently disclosed by the testimony of men well informed, of whom some at other times, and others again recently, have declared it to be true of the Freemasons that they especially desire to assail the Church with irreconcilable hostility, and that they will never rest until they have destroyed whatever the Supreme Pontiffs have established for the sake of religion. If those who are admitted as members are not commanded to abjure by any form of words the Catholic doctrines, this omission, so far from being adverse to the designs of the Freemasons, is more useful for their purposes. First, in this way they easily deceive the simple-minded and the heedless, and can induce a far greater number to become members. Again, as all who offer themselves are received whatever may be their form of religion, they thereby teach the great error of this age that a regard for religion should be held as an indifferent matter, and that all religions are alike. This manner of reasoning is calculated to bring about the ruin of all forms of religion, and especially of the Catholic religion, which, as it is the only one that is true, cannot, without great injustice, be regarded as merely equal to other religions. But the naturalists go much further, for, having, in the highest things, entered upon a wholly erroneous course, they are carried headlong to extremes, either by reason of the weakness of human nature, or because God inflicts upon them the just punishment of their pride. Hence it happens that they no longer consider as certain and permanent those things which are fully understood by the natural light of reason, such as certainly are the existence of God, the immaterial nature of the human soul, and its immortality. The sect of the Freemasons, by a similar course of error, is exposed to these same dangers, for, although in a general way they may profess the existence of God, they themselves are witnesses that they do not all maintain this truth with the full assent of the mind or with a firm conviction. Neither do they conceal that this question about God is the greatest source and cause of discords among them. In fact, it is certain that a considerable contention about this same subject has existed among them very lately, but, indeed, the sect allows great liberty to its votaries, so that to each side is given the right to defend its own opinion, either that there is a God, or that there is none, and those who obstinately contend that there is no God are as easily initiated as those who contend that God exists, though, like the pantheists, they have false notions concerning him, all which is nothing else than taking away the reality, while retaining some absurd representation of the divine nature. When this greatest fundamental truth has been overturned or weakened, it follows that those truths, also, which are known by the teaching of nature must begin to fall, namely, that all things were made by the free will of God the Creator, that the world is governed by providence, that souls do not die, that to this life of men upon the earth there will succeed another and an everlasting life. When these truths are done away with, which are as the principles of nature and important for knowledge and for practical use, it is easy to see what will become of both public and private morality. We say nothing of those more heavenly virtues, which no one can exercise or even acquire without a special gift and grace of God, of which necessarily no trace can be found in those who reject as unknown the redemption of mankind, the grace of God, the sacraments, and the happiness to be obtained in heaven. We speak now of the duties which have their origin in natural probity, that God is the creator of the world and its provident ruler, that the eternal law commands the natural order to be maintained, and forbids that it be disturbed, that the last end of men is a destiny far above human things and beyond this sojourning upon the earth. These are the sources and these the principles of all justice and morality. If these be taken away, as the naturalists and Freemasons desire, there will immediately be no knowledge as to what constitutes justice and injustice, or upon what principle morality is founded, and, in truth, the teaching of morality which alone finds favor with the sect of Freemasons, and in which they contend that youth should be instructed, is that which they call civil, and independent and free, namely, that which does not contain any religious belief. But how insufficient such teaching is, how wanting in soundness, and how easily moved by every impulse of passion, is sufficiently proved by its sad fruits, which have already begun to appear. For, wherever, by removing Christian education, this teaching has begun more completely to rule, their goodness and integrity of morals have begun quickly to perish, monstrous and shameful opinions have grown up, and the audacity of evil deeds has risen to a high degree. All this is commonly complained of and deplored, and not a few of those who by no means wish to do so are compelled by abundant evidence to give not infrequently the same testimony. Moreover, human nature was stained by original sin, and is therefore more disposed to vice than to virtue. For a virtuous life it is absolutely necessary to restrain the disorderly movements of the soul, and to make the passions obedient to reason. In this conflict human things must very often be despised, and the greatest labors and hardships must be undergone, in order that reason may always hold its sway. But the naturalists and Freemasons, having no faith in those things which we have learned by the revelation of God, deny that our first parents sinned, and consequently think that free will is not at all weakened and inclined to evil. On the contrary, exaggerating rather the power and the excellence of nature, and placing therein alone the principle and rule of justice, they cannot even imagine that there is any need at all of a constant struggle and a perfect steadfastness to overcome the violence and rule of our passions. Wherefore we see that men are publicly tempted by the many allurements of pleasure, that there are journals and pamphlets with neither moderation nor shame, that stage plays are remarkable for license, that designs for works of art are shamelessly sought in the laws of a so-called verism, that the contrivances of a soft and delicate life are most carefully devised, and that all the blandishments of pleasure are diligently sought out by which virtue may be lulled to sleep. Wickedly, also, but at the same time quite consistently, do those act who do away with the expectation of the joys of heaven, and bring down all happiness to the level of mortality, and, as it were, sink it in the earth. Of what we have said the following fact, astonishing not so much in itself as in its open expression, may serve as a confirmation. For, since generally no one is accustomed to obey crafty and clever men so submissively as those whose soul is weakened and broken down by the domination of the passions, there have been in the sect of the Freemasons some who have plainly determined and proposed that, artfully and of set purpose, the multitude should be satiated with a boundless license of vice, as, when this had been done, it would easily come under their power and authority for any acts of daring. What refers to domestic life in the teaching of the naturalists is almost all contained in the following declarations: that marriage belongs to the genus of commercial contracts, which can rightly be revoked by the will of those who made them, and that the civil rulers of the state have power over the matrimonial bond, that in the education of youth nothing is to be taught in the matter of religion as of certain and fixed opinion, and each one must be left at liberty to follow, when he comes of age, whatever he may prefer. To these things the Freemasons fully assent, and not only assent, but have long endeavored to make them into a law and institution. For in many countries, and those nominally Catholic, it is enacted that no marriages shall be considered lawful except those contracted by the civil right. In other places the law permits divorce, and in others every effort is used to make it lawful as soon as may be. Thus, the time is quickly coming when marriages will be turned into another kind of contract, that is interchangeable and uncertain unions which fancy may join together, and which the same when changed may disunite. With the greatest unanimity the sect of the Freemasons also endeavors to take to itself the education of youth. They think that they can easily mold to their opinions that soft and pliant age, and bend it whither they will, and that nothing can be more fitted than this to enable them to bring up the youth of the state after their own plan. Therefore, in the education and instruction of children they allow no share, either of teaching or of discipline, to the ministers of the church, and in many places they have procured that the education of youth shall be exclusively in the hands of laymen, and that nothing which treats of the most important and most holy duties of men to God shall be introduced into the instructions on morals. Then come their doctrines of politics, in which the naturalists lay down that all men have the same right, and are in every respect of equal and like condition, that each one is naturally free, that no one has the right to command another, that it is an act of violence to require men to obey any authority other than that which is obtained from themselves. According to this, therefore, all things belong to the free people, power is held by the command or permission of the people, so that, when the popular will changes, rulers may lawfully be deposed, and the source of all rights and civil duties is either in the multitude or in the governing authority when this is constituted according to the latest doctrines. It is held also that the state should be without God, that in the various forms of religion there is no reason why one should have precedence of another, and that they are all to occupy the same place, that these doctrines are equally acceptable to the Freemasons, and that they would wish to constitute states according to this example and model, is too well known to require proof. For some time past they have openly endeavored to bring this about with all their strength and resources, and in this they prepare the way for not a few bolder men who are hurrying on even to worse things, in their endeavor to obtain equality and community of all goods by the destruction of every distinction of rank and property. What, therefore, sect of the Freemasons is, and what course it pursues, appears sufficiently from the summary we have briefly given. Their chief dogmas are so greatly and manifestly at variance with reason that nothing can be more perverse, to wish to destroy the religion and the church which God himself has established, and whose perpetuity he ensures by his protection, and to bring back after a lapse of 18 centuries the manners and customs of the pagans, is signal folly and audacious impiety. Neither is it less horrible nor more tolerable that they should repudiate the benefits which Jesus Christ so mercifully obtained, not only for individuals, but also for the family and for civil society, benefits which, even according to the judgment and testimony of enemies of Christianity, are very great. In this insane and wicked endeavor we may almost see the implacable hatred and spirit of revenge with which Satan himself is inflamed against Jesus Christ. So also the studious endeavor of the Freemasons to destroy the chief foundations of justice and honesty, and to cooperate with those who would wish, as if they were mere animals, to do what they please, tends only to the ignominious and disgraceful ruin of the human race. The evil, too, is increased by the dangers which threaten both domestic and civil society, as we have elsewhere shown. In marriage, according to the belief of almost every nation, there is something sacred and religious, and the law of God has determined that marriages shall not be dissolved, if they are deprived of their sacred character, and made dissoluble. Trouble and confusion in the family will be the result, the wife being deprived of her dignity and the children left without protection as to their interests and well-being. To have in public matters no care for religion, and in the arrangement and administration of civil affairs to have no more regard for God than if he did not exist, is a rashness unknown to the very pagans. For in their heart and soul the notion of a divinity and the need of public religion were so firmly fixed that they would have thought it easier to have city without foundation than a city without God. Human society, indeed for which by nature we are formed, has been constituted by God the author of nature, and from him, as from their principle and source, flow in all their strength and permanence the countless benefits with which society abounds, as we are each of us admonished by the very voice of nature to worship God in piety and holiness, as the giver unto us of life and of all that is good therein. So also and for the same reason, nations and states are bound to worship him, and therefore it is clear that those who would absolve society from all religious duty act not only unjustly but also with ignorance and folly, as men are by the will of God born for civil union in society, and as the power to rule is so necessary a bond of society that, if it be taken away, society must at once be broken up. It follows that from him who is the author of society has come also the authority to rule, so that whosoever rules, he is the minister of God. Wherefore, as the end and nature of human society so requires, it is right to obey the just commands of lawful authority, as it is right to obey God who ruleth all things. And it is most in true that the people have it in their power to cast aside their obedience whensoever they please. In like manner, no one doubts that all men are equal one to another, so far as regards their common origin and nature, or the last end which each one has to attain, or the rights and duties which are thence derived. But, as the abilities of all are not equal, as one differs from another in the powers of mind or body, and as there are very many dissimilarities of manner, disposition, and character, it is most repugnant to reason to endeavor to confine all within the same measure, and to extend complete equality to the institutions of civic life, just as a perfect condition of the body results from the conjunction and composition of its various members, which, though differing in form and purpose, make, by their union and the distribution of each one to its proper place, a combination beautiful to behold, firm in strength, and necessary for use. So, in the Commonwealth, there is an almost infinite dissimilarity of men, as parts of the whole. If they are to be all equal, and each is to follow his own will, the state will appear most deformed. But if, with a distinction of degrees of dignity, of pursuits and employments, all aptly conspire for the common good, they will present the image of a state both well constituted and conformable to nature. Now, from the disturbing errors which we have described, the greatest dangers to states are to be feared. For, the fear of God and reverence for divine laws being taken away, the authority of rulers despised, sedition permitted and approved, and the popular passions urged on to lawlessness, with no restraint save that of punishment, a change and overthrow of all things will necessarily follow. Yea, this change and overthrow is deliberately planned and put forward by many associations of communists and socialists, and to their undertakings the sect of Freemasons is not hostile, but greatly favors their designs, and holds in common with them their chief opinions. And if these men do not at once and everywhere endeavor to carry out their extreme views, it is not to be attributed to their teaching and their will, but to the virtue of that divine religion which cannot be destroyed, and also because the sounder part of men, refusing to be enslaved to secret societies, vigorously resist their insane attempts. Would that all men would judge of the tree by its fruit, and would acknowledge the seed and origin of the evils which press upon us, and of the dangers that are impending. We have to deal with a deceitful and crafty enemy, who, gratifying the ears of people and of princes, has ensnared them by smooth speeches and by adulation, ingratiating themselves with rulers under a pretense of friendship. The Freemasons have endeavored to make them their allies and powerful helpers for the destruction of the Christian name, and that they might more strongly urge them on, they have, with determined calumny, accused the Church of invidiously contending with rulers in matters that affect their authority and sovereign power, having, by these artifices, ensured their own safety and audacity. They have begun to exercise great weight in the government of states, but nevertheless they are prepared to shake the foundations of empires, to harass the rulers of the state, to accuse, and to cast them out, as often as they appear to govern otherwise than they themselves could have wished. In like manner, they have by flattery deluded the people, proclaiming with a loud voice liberty and public prosperity, and saying that it was owing to the church and to sovereigns that the multitude were not drawn out of their unjust servitude and poverty. They have imposed upon the people, and, exciting them by a thirst for novelty, they have urged them to assail both the church and the civil power. Nevertheless, the expectation of the benefits which was hoped for is greater than the reality. Indeed, the common people, more oppressed than they were before, are deprived in their misery of that solace which, if things had been arranged in a Christian manner, they would have had with ease and in abundance. But, whoever strive against the order which divine providence has constituted pay usually the penalty of their pride, and meet with affliction and misery where they rashly hope to find all things prosperous and in conformity with their desires. The Church, if she directs men to render obedience chiefly and above all to God the Sovereign Lord, is wrongly and falsely believed either to be envious of the civil power or to arrogate to herself something of the rights of sovereigns. On the contrary, she teaches that what is rightly due to the civil power must be rendered to it with a conviction and consciousness of duty. In teaching that from God himself comes the right of ruling, she adds a great dignity to civil authority, and on small help towards obtaining the obedience and goodwill of the citizens. The friend of peace and sustainer of concord, she embraces all with maternal love, and, intent only upon giving help to mortal man, she teaches that to justice must be joined clemency, equity to authority, and moderation to lawgiving, that no one's right must be violated, that order and public tranquility are to be maintained, and that the poverty of those are in need is, as far as possible, to be relieved by public and private charity. But for this reason, To use the words of St. Augustine, men think, or would have it believed, that Christian teaching is not suited to the good of the state, for they wish the state to be founded not on solid virtue, but on the impunity of vice. Knowing these things, both princes and people would act with political wisdom, and according to the needs of general safety, if, instead of joining with Freemasons to destroy the church, they joined with the church in repelling their attacks, whatever the future may be. In this grave and widespread evil it is our duty, venerable brethren, to endeavor to find a remedy, and because we know that our best and firmest hope of a remedy is in the power of that divine religion which the Freemasons hate in proportion to their fear of it, we think it to be of chief importance to call that most saving power to our aid against the common enemy. Therefore, whatsoever the Roman pontiffs our predecessors have decreed for the purpose of opposing the undertakings and endeavors of the Masonic sect, and whatsoever they have enacted to enter or withdraw men from societies of this kind, we ratify and confirm it all by our apostolic authority, and trusting greatly to the goodwill of Christians, we pray and beseech each one, for the sake of his eternal salvation, to be most conscientiously careful not in the least to depart from what the Apostolic See has commanded in this matter. We pray and beseech you, venerable brethren, to join your efforts with ours, and earnestly to strive for the extirpation of this foul plague, which is creeping through the veins of the body politic. You have to defend the glory of God and the salvation of your neighbor, and with the object of your strife before you, neither courage nor strength will be wanting. It will be for your prudence to judge by what means you can best overcome the difficulties and obstacles you meet with. But, as it befits the authority of our office that we ourselves should point out some suitable way of proceeding, we wish it to be your rule first of all to tear away the mask from Freemasonry, and to let it be seen as it really is, and by sermons and pastoral letters to instruct the people as to the artifices used by societies of this kind in seducing men and enticing them into their ranks, and as to the depravity of their opinions and the wickedness of their acts, as our predecessors have many times repeated. Let no man think that he may for any reason whatsoever join the Masonic sect, if he values his Catholic name and his eternal salvation as he ought to value them. Let no one be deceived by a pretense of honesty. It may seem to some that Freemasons demand nothing that is openly contrary to religion and morality, but, as the whole principle and object of the sect lies in what is vicious and criminal, to join with these men or in any way to help them cannot be lawful. Further, by assiduous teaching and exhortation, the multitude must be drawn to learn diligently the precepts of religion, for which purpose we earnestly advise that by opportune writings and sermons they be taught the elements of those sacred truths in which Christian philosophy is contained. The result of this will be that the minds of men will be made sound by instruction, and will be protected against many forms of error and inducements to wickedness, especially in the present unbounded freedom of writing and insatiable eagerness for learning. Great, indeed, is the work, but in it the clergy will share your labors, if, through your care, they are fitted for it by learning and a well-turned life. This good and great work requires to be helped also by the industry of those amongst the laity in whom a love of religion and of country is joined to learning and goodness of life. By uniting the efforts of both clergy and laity, strive, venerable brethren, to make men thoroughly know and love the Church, for, the greater their knowledge and love of the Church, the more will they be turned away from clandestine societies. Wherefore, not without cause do we use this occasion to state again what we have stated elsewhere, namely, that the Third Order of St. Francis, whose discipline we a little while ago prudently mitigated, should be studiously promoted and sustained. For the whole object of this order, as constituted by its founder, is to invite men to an imitation of Jesus Christ, to a love of the Church, and to the observance of all Christian virtues, and therefore it ought to be of great influence in suppressing the contagion of wicked societies. Let, therefore, this holy sodality be strengthened by a daily increase. Amongst the many benefits to be expected from it will be the great benefit of drawing the minds of men to liberty, fraternity, and equality of right, not such as the Freemasons absurdly imagine, but such as Jesus Christ obtained for the human race and St. Francis aspired to, the liberty, we mean, of sons of God, through which we may be free from slavery to Satan or to our passions, both of them most wicked masters, the fraternity whose origin is in God, the common creator and father of all, the equality which, founded on justice and charity, does not take away all distinctions among men, but, out of the varieties of life, of duties, and of pursuits, forms that union and that harmony which naturally tend to the benefit and dignity of society. In the third place, there is a matter wisely instituted by our forefathers, but in course of time laid aside, which may now be used as a pattern and form of something similar. We mean the associations of guilds of workmen, for the protection, under the guidance of religion, both of their temporal interests and of their morality. If our ancestors, by long use and experience, felt the benefit of these guilds, our age perhaps will feel it the more by reason of the opportunity which they will give of crushing the power of the sects, those who support themselves by the labor of their hands, besides being, by their very condition, most worthy above all others of charity and consolation, are also especially exposed to the allurements of men whose ways lie in fraud and deceit. Therefore, they ought to be helped with the greatest possible kindness, and to be invited to join associations that are good, lest they be drawn away to others that are evil. For this reason, we greatly wish, for the salvation of the people, that, under the auspices and patronage of the bishops, and at convenient times, these guilds may be generally restored, to our great delight. Sodalities of this kind and also associations of masters have in many places already been established, having, each class of them, for their object to help the honest workman, to protect and guard his children and family, and to promote in them piety, Christian knowledge, and a moral life. And in this matter we cannot omit mentioning that exemplary society, named after its founder, Saint Vincent, which has deserved so well of the lower classes. Its acts and its aims are well known. Its whole object is to give relief to the poor and miserable. This it does with singular prudence and modesty, and the less it wishes to be seen, the better is it fitted for the exercise of Christian charity, and for the relief of suffering. In the fourth place, in order more easily to attain what we wish, to your fidelity and watchfulness we commend in a special manner the young, as being the hope of human society. Devote the greatest part of your care to their instruction, and do not think that any precaution can be great enough in keeping them from masters and schools whence the pestilent breath of the sects is to be feared. Under your guidance, let parents, religious instructors, and priests having the cure of souls use every opportunity, in their Christian teaching, of warning their children and pupils of the infamous nature of these societies, so that they may learn in good time to beware of the various and fraudulent artifices by which their promoters are accustomed to ensnare people. And those who instruct the young in religious knowledge will act wisely if they induce all of them to resolve and to undertake never to bind themselves to any society without the knowledge of their parents, or the advice of their parish priest or director. We well know, however, that our united labors will by no means suffice to pluck up these pernicious seeds from the Lord's field, unless the heavenly master of the vineyard shall mercifully help us in our endeavors. We must, therefore, with great and anxious care, implore of him the help which the greatness of the danger and of the need requires. The sect of the Freemasons shows itself insolent and proud of its success, and seems as if it would put no bounds to its pertinacity. Its followers, joined together by a wicked compact and by secret counsels, give help one to another, and excite one another to an audacity for evil things. So vehement an attack demands an equal defense, namely, that all good men should form the widest possible association of action and of prayer. We beseech them, therefore, with united hearts, to stand together and unmoved against the advancing force of the sects, and in mourning and supplication to stretch out their hands to God, praying that the Christian name may flourish and prosper, that the Church may enjoy its needed liberty, that those who have gone astray may return to her right mind, that error at length may give place to truth, and vice to virtue. Let us take our helper and intercessor the Virgin Mary, Mother of God, so that she, who from the moment of her conception overcame Satan, may show her power over these evil sects, in which is revived the contumacious spirit of the demon, together with his unsubdued perfidy and deceit. Let us beseech Michael, the prince of the heavenly angels, who drove out the infernal foe, and Joseph, the spouse of the most holy Virgin, and heavenly patron of the Catholic Church, and the great apostles, Peter and Paul, the fathers and victorious champions of the Christian faith. By their patronage, and by perseverance in united prayer, we hope that God will mercifully and opportunely succor the human race, which is encompassed by so many dangers. As a pledge of heavenly gifts and of our benevolence, we lovingly grant in the Lord, to you, venerable brethren, and to the clergy and all the people committed to your watchful care, our apostolic benediction, given at St. Peter's in Rome, the 20th day of April, 1884, the 6th year of our pontificate, Leo XIII.
Sanctissimi Domini nostri Leonis Divina Providentia Papae XII Epistola Encyclica ad Patriarchas Primates Archiepiscopos et Episcopos Catholici Orbis Universos gratiam et communionem cum apostolica sede habentes. Venerabiles fratres salutem et apostolicam benedictionem, humanum genus, postea quam creatore, munerumque caelestium largitore Deo, invidia diaboli, miserrime defecit, in partes duas diversas adversasque discessit. Quarum altera assidue pro veritate et virtute propugnat, altera pro ies, quae virtuti sunt veritatique contraria alterum Deiuxt in terris regnum, vera scilicet Iesu Christi Ecclesia, qui volunt ex animo et convenienter ad salutem ad aerescere, necesse uxt Deo et unigenito Filio eius totamente ac summa voluntate servire, alterum satanae uxt regnum, quius inditione et potestate sunt quicumque funesta ducis sui et primorum parentum exempla secuti, parere divinae aeternaeque legi recusant, et multa postabito Deo, multa contra Deum contendunt. Duplex hoc regnum, duarum instar civitatum contrariis legibus contraria in studia abeuntium, acute vidit descripsitque Augustinus, et utriusque efficientem causam subtili brevitate complexus uxt, ies verbis, fecerunt civitates duas amores duo. Terrenam scilicet amor suiusque ad contemptum Dei, caelestem vero amor Deusque ad contemptum sui, decivit. Dei libro. Siv, C17 vario ac multiplici cum marmorum tum dimicationis genere altera adversus alteram omnis aeculorum aetate conflixit, quamquam non eodem semper ardore atque impetu. Hoc autem tempore, qui deterioribus favent partibus videntur simul conspirare vehementissimeque cuncti contendere, auctore et adiutrice ea, quam massonum appellant, longe lateque diffusa et firmiter constituta hominum societate. Niei lenimiam dissimulantes consilia sua, excitant sese adversas Dei numen audacissime, ecclesiae sanctae pernicem palam aperteque moliuntur, idque eo proposito, ut gentes Christianas partis per Iesum Christum servatorem beneficiis. Si fieri posset, funditus despolient quibus nos ingemiscentes malis, illud saepe ad Deum clamare, urgente animum caritate, compellimur, ecce inimici tui sonuerunt, et qui oderunt te, extulerunt caput. Super populum tuum alignaverunt consilium, et cogitaverunt adversus sanctos tuos. Dixerunt, venite, et disperdamus eos de gente, pis, LXXXI, V2A4. In tam praesenti discrimine, in tam immani pertinacique Christiani nominis oppugnatione, nostrum ext indicari periculum, designare adversarios, orumque consiliis atque artibus, quantum possumus. Resistere ut aeternum ne pereant quorum nobis ext commissa salus, et Iesu Christi regnum, quod tuendum accepimus, non nodost et permaneat integrum, sed novis usque incrementis ubique terrarum amplificetur. Romani pontifices decessores nostri, pro salute populi Christiani sedulo vigilantes, unc tam capitalem ostem ex occultae coniurationis tenebris prosilientem, quis esset, quid vellet, celerite ragnoverunt, idemque praecipientes cogitatione futura. Principes simul et populos, signo velut dato, monuerunt ne separatis advecipiendum artibus insidiisque capi paterentur prima significatio periculi per clementem psi annum xxxviei facta, const, in eminenti, die 24 aprilis 1738, quius exta benedicto psiv, const, providas, die 18 Mai 1751, confirmata ac renovata constitutio. Utriusque vestigis ingressus ext Pius V, const, Ecclesia Mai Iesu Christo, die 13 septembris 1821, ac leo psii constitutione apostolica quo graviora, const data die 13 martii 1825, superiorum pontificum ac de re acta et decreta complexus, rata ac firma in perpetuum esse iussit. Ineandem sententiam Pius VII, Encyc. Traditi, die 21 Mai 1829, Gregorius XV, Encyc. Mirari, die 15 Augusti 1839, per saepe vero Pius X, Encyc. Qui pluribus, die 9 Novembre 1846. Alloc. Multiplices inter, die 25 Septembre 1865, etc., locati sunt. Videlicet cum sectae massonicae institutum et ingenium compertum esset ex manifestis rerum indicis, cognitione causarum, prolatis in lucem legibus eius, ritibus, commentariis, ipsis saepe accedentibus testimoniis eorum qui essent conscii. Aec apostolica sedes denuntiavit aperteque edixit, sectam massonum, contra ius fasque constitutam, non minus esse Christianae rei, quam civitati perniciosam, propositisque poenis, quibus solet ecclesia gravius insontes animadvertere, interdixit atque imperavit, ne quis illi nomen societati daret, qua ex rei rati gregales, earum vim sententiarum subterfugere aut debilitare se posse partim contemnendo, partim calumniando rati, pontifices maximus, qui ea decreverant, criminati sunt aut non iusta decrevisse, aut modum indecernendo transisse, ac sane ratione constitutionum apostolicarum clementis xii, benedicti xiv, itemque pivi et pix conati sunt auctoritatem et pondus eludere, verum in ipsa illa societate non defuere, qui vel inviti faterentur, quod erat a Romanis pontificibus factum, id esse, spectata doctrina disciplinaque catholica, iure factum, in quo pontificibus valde assentiri plures viri principes rerumque publicarum rectores visi sunt, quibus curae fuit societate massonicam vel apud apostolicam sedem arguere, vel per se, latis in id legibus, noxae damnare, ut in Hollandia, Austria, Helvetia, Hispania, Bavaria, Sabaudia aliisque Italiae partibus, quod tamen prae ceteris interest, prudentiam decessorum nostrorum rerum eventus comprobavit, ipsorum enim providae paternaeque curae nec semper nec ubique optatos abuerunt exitus, idque vel hominum, qui in ea noxa essent, simulatione et astu, vel inconsiderata levitate ceterorum, quorum maxime interfuisset diligenter attendere, quare unius saeculi dimidiatique spatio secta massonum ad incrementa properavit opinione maiora, inferendoque sese per audaciam et dolos in omnes rei publicae ordines, tantum iam posse coepit, ut prope dominari in civitatibus videatur, ex hoc tam celeri formidolosoque cursu illa revera ext in ecclesiam, in potestatem principum, in salutem publicam pernices consecuta, quam decessores nostri multo ante providerant, eo in imperventum ext, ut valde sit reliquo tempore metuendum non ecclesiae quidem, quae longe firmius habet fundamentum, quam ut hominum opera labefactari queat, sed earum causa civitatum, in quibus nimis polleat ea, de qualo quimur, aut aliae hominum sectae non absimiles, quae priori illis ese administras et satellites impertiunt, is de caussis, ubi primum ad ecclesiae gubernacula accessimus, vidimus planeque sensimus uic tanto malo resistere oppositu auctoritatis nostrae, quod fieri posset, oportere sane opportunam saepius occasionem nacti. Persecuti sumus praecipua quaedam doctrinarum capita, in quas massonicarum opinionum influxisse maxime perversitas videbatur. Ita litteris nostris encyclicis quod apostolici muneris adversi sumus socialistarum et communistarum portenta convincere, aliis de inceps arcanum veram Germanamque notionem societatis domesticae, quius ext in matrimonio fons et origo. Tuendam et explicandam curavimus, ies in super, quarum initium ext diuturnum potestatis politicae formam ad principia Christianae sapientiae expressam proposuimus, cum ipsa rerum natura, cum populorum principumque salute mirifice coerentem. Nunc autem, decessorum nostrorum exemplo, in massonicam ipsam societatem, in doctrinam eius universam, et consilia, et sentiendi consuetudinem et agendi, animum recta intendere decrevimus, quo vis illius malefica magisque illustretur, idque valeat ad funestae pestis prohibenda contagia. Variae sunt hominum sectae, quae quamquam nomine, ritu, forma, origine differentes, cum tamen communione quadam propositi summarumque sententiarum similitudine inter se contineantur, recongruunt cum secta massonum, quae quius dam ext in star centri unde habeunt et quo redeunt universae, quae quambis nunc nolle ad modum videantur latere in tenebris, et suos agant coetus in luce oculisque civium, et suas edant ephemeridas, nihilo minus tamen, repenitus perspecta, genus societatum clandestinarum oremque retinent. Plura quitte in ies sunt arcanis similia, quae non externos solum, sed gregales etiam bene multos exquisitissima diligentia celari lex ext, quius modi sunt intima atque ultima consilia, summi factionum principes, occulta quaedam et intestina conventicula, aitem decreta, et qua via, quibus auxiliis perficenda. Uc sane facit multiplex illud inter socios discrimen et iuris et officii et muneris, uc rata ordinum graduumque distinctio, et illa, qua reguntur, severitas disciplinae, initiales pondere, inno praecipuo sacramento iurare ut plurimum iubentur, neminis eullo unquam tempore ullove modo socios, notas, doctrinas indicaturos, sic mentita specie odemque semper tenore simulationis qua maxime massones, ut oli manicaei, laborant abdere sese, nullosque, praeter suos, abere testes, latebras commodum quaerunt, sumpta sibi litteratorum soforumve persona, eruditionis causa sociatorum, habent in lingua promptum cultioris urbanitatis studium, tenuioris plebis caritatem, unice velles e meliores res multitudini quaerere, et quae aventurin civili societate connoda cum quam plurimis communicare, quae quidem consilia quam vis vera essent, nequaquam tamen inistis omnia, praeterea qui cooptati sunt, promittant ac recipiant necesse ext, ducibus ac magistris edicto audientes futuros cum obsequio fideque maxima, ad quem libeteorum nutum significationemque paratos, imperata facturos, si secus fecerint. Tum dira omnia ac mortem ipsam non recusare. Revera si qui prodidisse disciplinam, vel mandatis restitisse iudicentur, supplicum Dei esse non raro sumitur, et audacia quidem ac dexteritate tanta, ut speculatricem ac vindicem scelerum justitiam sicarius per saepe fallat at qui simulare, et velle in occulto latere, obligare sibi homines, tamquam ancipia, tenacissimo nexu, nec satis declarata causa, alieno addictos arbitrio ad omne facinus adibere, armare ad caedem dextras, quaesita impunitate peccandi, immanitas quaedam ext, quam rerum natura non patitur, qua propter societatem, de qualo quimur, cum justitia et naturali honestate pugnare, ratio et veritas ipsa convincit. E ovel magis, quod ipsius naturam ad honestate dissidente malia quoque argumenta iademque illustria redargunt. Ut enim magna sit in hominibus astutia celandi consuetudoque mentiendi, fieritamen non potest, ut una quaeque causa ex iis rebus, quarum causa ext, qualis in se sit non aliqua ratione appareat. Non potest arbor bona malos fructus facere, neque arbor mala bonos fructus facere, map. Vi. 18. Fructus autem secta massonum perniciosos gimmit maximaque acerbitate permixtos. Nam ex certissimis indicis, quae supra commemoravimus, erumpit illud, quod ext consiliorum suorum ultimum, scilicet vertere funditus omnem eam, quam instituta Christiana pepererunt, disciplinam religionis reique publicae, novamque ad ingenium suum extruere, ductis e medio naturalismo fundamentis et legibus. Aec, quae diximus aut dicturi sumus, de secta massonica intelligi oport et spectata in genere suo, et quatenus sibi cognatas foederatasque complectitur societates, non autem de sectatoribus earum singulis, in quorum numero utique possunt esse. Nec pauci, qui quambis culpa non careant quod sese istius modi impliquerint societatibus, tamen nec sint flagitiose factorum per se ipsi participes, et illud ultimum ignorent quod illa enituntura dipisci. Similiter ex consociationibus ipsis non nullae fortasse nequaquam probant conclusiones quasdam extremas, quas, cum ex principiis communibus necessario consequantur, consentanem esse tamplexari, nisi per se foeditate sua turpitudo ipsa deterreret. Aetem non nullas locorum temporum veratio suadet minora conari, quam aut ipsae vellent aut ceterae solent, non id circo tamen alienae a massonico foedere putandae, cuia massonicum foedus non tam ext ad actis perfectisque rebus, quam a sententiarum summa indicandum, iam vero naturalistarum caput ext, quod nomine ipso satis declarant, humanam naturam humanamque rationem cunctis rebus magistram esse et principem oportere, quo constituto, officia erga deum vel minus curant, vel opinionibus pervertunt errantibus et vagis, negant enim quidquam esse deo auctore traditum, nullum probant de religione dogma, nihil veri, quod non hominum intelligentia comprehendat, nullum magistrum, cui propter auctoritatem officii sit iure credendum. Quoniam autem nunus ext ecclesiae catholicae singulare sibique unice proprium doctrinas divinitus acceptas auctoritatemque magisterium ceteris ad salutem caelestibus adiumentis plene complecti et incorrupta integritate tueri. Id circo in ipsa maxima ext inimicorum iracundia impetusque conversus nunc vero in ies rebus, quae religionem attingunt, spectetur quid agat, praeserti nubi ext ad agendi licentiam liberior, secta massonum, omni noque iudicetur, non ne planere ex equi naturalistarum decreta velle videatur, longo sane pertinacique labore in iddatur opera, nihil ut ecclesiae magisterium, nihil auctoritas in civitate possit, oddeamque causam vulgo praedicant et pugnant, rem sacram remque civilem esse penitus distraendas, quo facto saluberrimam religionis catholicae virtutem allegibus, ab administratione rei publicae excludunt, illudque ext consequens, ut praeter instituta ac praecepta ecclesiae totas constituendas putent civitates nec vero non curare ecclesiam, optimam ducem, satis habent, nisi hostiliter facendola eserint, et sane fundamenta ipsa religionis catholicae adoriri fando, scribendo, docendo, impune licet, non iuribus ecclesiae parcitur, non munera, quibus ext divinitus aucta, salva sunt, agendarum rerum facultas quam minima illi relinquitur, idque legibus specie quidem non nimis vim inferentibus, revera natis aptis ad impediendam libertatem. Aitem imposita sclero videmus leges singulares et graves, multum ut eide numero, multum de rebus necessariis in dies decedat, reliquias bonorum ecclesiae maximis ad strictas vinculis, potestati et arbitrio administratorum rei publicae permissas, sodalitates ordinum religiosorum sublatas, dissipatas at vero in sedem apostolicam Romanumque pontificem longe ext inimicorum incitata contentio. Is quidem primum fictis de causis deturbatus ext propugnaculo libertatis iurisque sui, principatu civili, mox in statum compulsus iniquum simule et obiectis undique difficultatibus intolerabilem, donec ad haec tempora perventum ext, quibus sectarum fautores, quod abscondite secum agitarant diu, aperte denunciant, sacram tollendam pontificum potestatem, ipsumque divino iure institutum funditus delendum pontificatum, quam rem, si cetera deessent, satis indicat hominum qui conscii sunt testimonium, quorum plerique cum saepe alias, tum recenti memoria rursus hoc massonum verum esse declararunt, velle eos maxime exercere Catholicum nomen implacabilibus inimicitiis, nec ante quieturos, quam excisa oinia viderin, quae cumque summi pontifices religionis causa instituissent quod si, qui adscribuntur in numerum, nequaquam eiurare conceptis verbis instituta Catholica iubentur, id sane tantum abest, ut consiliis massonum repugnet, ut potius adserviat. Primum enim simplices et incautos facile decipiunt ac via, multoque pluribus invitamenta praebent. Tum vero obviis quibus libet ex quovis religionis ritu accipiendis, ocas sequuntur, ut re ipsa suadeant magnum illum vius temporis errorem, religionis curam relinquio portere immediis, nec ullum esse intergenera discrimen. Quae quidem ratio comparata ad interitum ext religionum omnium, nominatim ad Catholicae, quae cum una ex omnibus vera sit, ex aequari cum ceteris sine iniuria summa non potest, sed longius naturalistae progrediuntur, in maximis enim rebus tota errare via audacter ingressi, praecipiti cursu ad extrema delabuntur, sive humanae imbecillitate naturae, sive consilio iustas superbiae poenas repetentis Dei, ita fit, ut illis ne quidem certa et fixa permaneant, quae naturali lumine rationis perspiciuntur, qualia profecto illa sunt, dem esse, animos hominum ad omni esse materiae concretione segregatos, eos demque immortales, atqui secta massonum ad os ipsos scopulos non dissimili cursus errore ad aerescit, quam vis enim dem esse generatim profiteantur, id tamen non aerere in singulorum mentibus firma ascensione iudicioque stabili constitutum, ipsi sibi sunt testes, neque enim dissimulant, anc de Deo quaestionem maximum apud ipsos esse fontem causamque dissidii, inno non mediocrem ac ipsa de re constat extitisse inter eos proximo etiam tempore contentionem, rea utem vera initiatis magnam secta licentiam dat, ut alterutrum liceat suo iure defendere, Deum esse, Deum nullum esse, et qui nullum esse praefracte contendant, tam facile initiantur, quam qui Deum esse opinantur quidem, sed eo prava sentiunt, ut panteistae solent, quod nihil ext aliud, quam divinae naturae absurdam quamdam specem retinere, veritatem tollere, quae verso infirmatove maximo fundamento, consequens ext ut illa quoque vacillent, quae natura admonente cognoscuntur, cunctas res libera creatoris Dei voluntate extitisse, mundum providentia regi, nullum esse animorum interitum, uic, quae in terris agitur, hominum vitae successuram alteram eamque sempiternam, is autem dilapsis, quae sunt tamquam naturae principia, ad cognitionem usumque praecipua, quales futuri sint privati publicique mores, facile apparet silemus de virtutibus divinioribus, quas absque singulari Dei munere et dono nec exercere potest quisquam, ne consequi, quarum profecto necesse ext nullum in iesse vestigium reperiri, qui redemptionem generis humani, qui gratiam caelestem, qui sacramenta, adipiscendamque in caelis felicitatem pro ignotis aspernantur de officis loquimur, quae a naturali honestate ducuntur, mundi enim opifex idemque providus gubernator Deus, lex aeterna naturalem ordinem conservari iubens, perturbari vetans, ultimus hominum finis multo excelsior rebus humanis extra haec mundana hospitia constitutus, i fontes, haec principia sunt totius justitiae et honestatis, ea si tollantur, quod naturalistae idemque massones solent, continuo iusti et injusti scientia ubi consistat, et quos etueatur omnino non abebit, et sane disciplina morum, quae massonum familiae probatur unice, et quae informari adolescentem aetatem contendunt portere, ea ext quam et civicam nominant et solutam ac liberam, scilicet in qua opinio nulla sit religionis inclusa, at vero quam in opsilla sit, quam firmitatis expers, et ad omnem auram cupiditatum nobilis, satis ostenditur ex iis, qui parti miam apparent, poenitendis fructibus. Ubi enim regnare illa liberius coepit, demota loco institutione Christiana, ibi celeriter deperire probi integrique mores, opinionum tetra portenta convalescere, plenoque gradu audacia ascendere maleficiorum. Quod quidem vulgo conqueruntur et deplorant, idemque non pauci ex iis, qui minime vellent, perspicua veritate compulsi, aud raro testantur. Praeterea, quoniam ex dominum natura primi labe peccati inquinata, et odvant causa multo ad vitia quam ad virtutes propensior, hoc omnino ad honestatem requiritur, coibere motus animi turbidos et appetitus obedientes facere rationi. In quo certamine despicentia saepissime adibenda extrerum humanarum, maximique ex shauriendi labores ac molestiae, quo suum semper teneat ratio victrix principatum. Verum naturalistae et masones, nulla adibita ies rebus fide, quas Deo auctore cognovimus, parentem generis humani negant deliquisse, proptereaque liberum arbitrium nihil viribus attenuatum et inclinatum, conc, trid, ses, vi, de justif, C1, putant. Qui ninno exaggerantes naturae virtutem et excellentiam, in eaque principium et normam justitiae unice collocantes, ne cogitare quidem possunt, ad sedandos illius impetus regendosque appetitus assidua contentione et summa opus esse constantia. Ex quo videmus vulgo suppeditario minibus illecebras multas cupiditatum, ephemeridas commentariosque nulla nec temperantia nec verecundia, ludos scenicos ad licentiam insimes, argumenta artium ex iis, quas vocant verismi, legibus proterve quaesita. Escogitata subtiliter vitae artificia delicatae et mollis, omnia denique conquisita voluptatum blandimenta, quibus opita virtus conniveat. In quo flagitiose faciunt, sed sibi ad modum constant, qui expectationem tollunt bonorum caelestium, omnemque ad res mortales felicitatem abiciunt et quasi demergunt in terram quae autem commemorata sunt illud confirmare potest non tam re, quam dictu inopinatum. Cum enimo minibus versutis et callidis nemo fere soleat tam obnoxie servire, quam quorum ext cupiditatum dominatu enervatus et fractus animus, reperti in secta massonum sunt, qui edicerent ac proponerent. Consilio et arte enitendum ut infinita vitiorum licentia ex saturetur multitudo, hoc enim facto, in potestate sibi et arbitrio ad quae libet audenda facile futuram. Quod ad convictum attinet domesticum, is fere continetur omnis naturalistarum disciplina. Matrimonium ad negotiorum contraendorum pertinere genus, rescindi ad voluntate meorum, qui contraxerint, iure posse, penes gubernatores rei civilis esse in maritale vinculum potestatem. In educandis liberis nihil de religione praecipiatura ex certa destinataque sententia, integrum singulis esto, cum adole veritaetas, quod maluerint sequi atqui aec ipsa assentiuntur plane masones, neque assentiuntur solum. Sed iam Deus student in norem consuetudinemque deducere. Multis iam in regionibus, isdemque catholici nominis, constitutum extut, praeter coniunctas ritu civili, iustae ne habeantur nuptiae, alibi divortia fieri, lege licet, alibi, ut quam primum liceat, datur opera. Ita ad illud festinat cursus, ut matrimonia in aliam naturam convertantur, hoc ext in coniunctiones instabiles et fluxas, quas libido conglutinet, et ade mutata dissolvat summa autem conspiratione voluntatum illuc etiam spectat secta massonum, ut institutionem ad serapiat adolescentium, molle menim et flexibile maetatem facile se posse sentiunt arbitratus suo fingere, et, quo velint, torquere, eaque regni esse opportunius ad sobolem civium, qualem ipsi meditantur, talem rei publicae educendam, quo circa in educatione doctrinaque puerili nullas ecclesiae ministris nec magisterii nec vigilantiae sinunt esse partes, pluribusque iam locis consecuti sunt, ut omnis sit penes viros laicos adolescentium institutio, itemque ut in nores informandos nihil admisceatur Deis, quae hominem iungunt Deo, per magnis sanctissimisque officis, sequuntur civilis decreta prudentiae, quo in genere statuunt naturalistae, homines eodem esse iure omnes, et aequa ac pari in omnes partes conditione, unumquemque esse natura liberum, imperandi alteri ius abere neminem, velle autem, ut homines quiusquam auctoritati pareant. Aliunde quam ex ipsis quaesitae, id quidem esse vim inferre. Omnia igitur in libero populo esse, imperium ius suvel concessu populi teneri, ita quidem, ut, mutata voluntate populari, principes de gradu Dei civeli invitos liceat. Fontem omnium iurium officiorumque civilium velim multitudine in esse, velim potestate gubernante civitatem, e aque novissimis informata disciplinis. Praeterea team esserem publicam oportere, in variis religionis formis nullam esse caussam, curalia ali anteponatur, e odem omnes loco abendas. Aec autem ipsa massonibus aeque placere, et ad anc similitudinem atque exemplar velle eos constituere res publicas, +Leo+XIII cognitum, quam ut demonstrario porteat. Iam diuquite omnibus viribus atque opibus id aperte moliuntur, et hoc ipso expediunt viam audacioribus non paucis ad peiora praecipitantibus, ut qui aequationem cogitant communionemque omnium bonorum. Deleto ordinum et fortunarum in civitate discrimine. Secta igitur massonum quid sit, et quod iter affectet exis quae summatim attigimus, satis elucet. Praecipua ipsorum dogmata tam valde ratione ac tam manifesto discrepant, ut nihil possit esse perversius. Religionem et ecclesiam, quam Deus ipse condidit, idemque ad immortalitatem tuetur, velle demoliri, moresque et instituta ethnicorum duo deviginti saeculorum intervallo revocare, insignis stultitiae ext impietatisque audacissimae. Neque illud vel orribile minus, vel levius ferendum, quod beneficia repudiantur per Iesum Christum benigne parta neque hominibus solum singulis, sed vel familia vel communitate civili consociatis. Quae beneficia ipso aventur inimicorum iudicio testimonioque maxima. In uius modi voluntate vesana et tetra recognosci propemodum videtur posse illud ipsum, quo Satanas in Iesum Christum ardet, in expiabile odium ulciscendique libido similiter illud alterum, quod massones vehementer conantur. Recti atque honesti praecipua fundamenta vertere, adiutoresque se praebere iesse, qui more pecudum quodcumque libeat, idem licere vellent, nihil extaliud quam genus humanum cum ignominia et dedecore ad interitum impellere. Augent vero malum ea quae in societatem cum domesticam tum civilem intenduntur pericula. Quando enim alias exposuimus, in est in matrimonio sacrum et religiosum quidam omnium fere et gentium et aetatum consensu, divina autem lege cautum esse, ne coniugia dirimi liceat. Ea si profana fiant, si distrai liceat, consequatur in familia necesse est turba et confusio, excidentibus de dignitate feminis, incerta rerum suarum incolumitatisque sobole curam vero de religione publice adibere nullam. Et in rebus civicis ordinandis, gerendis, deum nihilo magis respicere, quam si omnino non esset, temeritas vext ipsis ethnicis inaudita, quorum in animo sensuque erat sic penitus affixa non solum opinio deorum, sed religionis publicae necessitas. Ut inveniri urbem facilius sine solo, quam sine Deo posse arbitrarentur. Revera humani generis societas, ad quam sumus natura facti, ad eo constituta ext naturae parente, ab eoque tamquam a principio et fonte tota vis et perennitas manat innumerabilium, quibus illa abundat, bonorum. Igiturque ad modum singuli pie Deum sancteque colere ipsa naturae voce admonemur, propterea quod vitam et bona quae comitantur vitae ad eo accipimus, sic eandem ob causam populi et civitates. In circo qui solutam omni religionis officio civilem communitatem volunt, perspicuum ext non in iuste solum, sed etiam inducte absurdeque facere quod vero homines ad coniunctionem congregationemque civilem Dei voluntate nascuntur, et potestas imperandi vinculum est civilis societatis tam necessarium ut, eo sub lato, illam repente disrumpi necesse sit, consequens ext ut imperandi auctoritatem idem gignat, qui genuit societatem, ex quo intelligitur, imperium in quo sit, quicumque is ext, ministrum esse Dei, qua propter, qua tenus finis et natura societatis humanae postulant, legitimae potestati iusta praecipienti aequum ext parere perinde ac numini omnia moderantis Dei, illudque in primis a veritate aborret, in populi esse voluntate positum obedientiam, cum libitum fuerit, abicere similiter, pares inter se homines esse universos, nemo dubitat, si genus et natura communis, si finis ultimus uniquique ad assequendum propositus, si ea, quae inde sponte fluunt, iura et officia spectentur, at vero cuia ingenia omnium paria esse non possunt, et alius ad alio distat vel animi vel corporis viribus, plurimaeque sunt morum, voluntatis, naturarum dissimilitudines, id circo nihil tam ext repugnans rationi, quam una velle comprensione omnia complecti, et illam omnibus partibus expletam aequabilitatem ad vitae civilis instituta traducere, quem ad modum perfectus corporis habitus ex diversorum existit iunctura et compositione membrorum, quae forma usuque differunt, compacta tamen et suis distributa locis complexionem efficiunt pulcram specie, firmam viribus, utilitate necessariam. Ita in republica hominum quasi partium infinita propemodum ext dissimilitudo, qui si habeantur pares arbitriumque singuli suum sequantur, species erit civitatis nulla deformior, si vero dignitatis, studiorum, artium distinctis gradibus, apte ad commune bonum conspirent, bene constitutae civitatis imaginem referent congruentemque naturae, ceterum ex iis, quos commemoravimus, turbulentis erroribus, maximae sunt civitatibus extimescendae formidines, nam sub lato Dei metu legumque divinarum verecundia, despecta principum auctoritate, permissa probataque seditionum libidine, proiectis ad licentiam cupiditatibus popularibus, nullo nisi poenarum freno, necessario secutura extrerum omnium commutatio et versio, anc inno commutation eversionemque consulto meditantur, idque praese ferunt, plurimi communistarum et socialistarum consociati greges, quorum coeptis alienam ne sedixerit secta masonum, quae et consilis eorum ad modum favet, et summa sententiarum capita cum ipsis habet communia, quod si nec continuo nec ubique ad extrema experiendo decurrunt, non ipsorum ext disciplinae, non voluntati tribuendum, sed virtuti religionis divinae, quae extingui non potest, itemque saniori hominum parti, qui societatum clandestinarum recusantes servitutem, insanosearum conatus forti animo refutant, atque utinam omnes stirpem ex fructibus iudicarent, et malorum quae premunt, periculorum quae impendent, semen et initium agnoscerent, res ext cum oste fallaci et doloso, qui serviens auribus populorum et principum, utrosque mollibus sententis et assentatione cepit insinuando sese ad viros principes simulatione amicitiae, hoc spectarunt masones, illos ipsos abere ad opprimendum catholicum nomen socios et adiutores potentes, quibus quo maiores ad moverent stimulos, pervicaci calumnia ecclesiam criminati sunt de potestate iuribusque regis cum principibus invidiose contendere, is interim artibus quaesita securitate et audacia, plurimum pollere irregendis civitatibus coeperunt, ceterum parati imperiorum fundamenta quatere, et in sequi principes civitatis, in simulare, eicere, quoties facere secus in gubernando viderentur, quam illi maluissent audab simili modo populos assentando ludificati sunt, libertatem prosperitatemque publicam pleno ore personantes, et per ecclesiam principesque sum nostetisse, quo minus ex iniqua servitute et gestate multitudo eriperetur, populo imposuerunt, eunque rerum novarum sollicitatum siti in oppugnatione nutriusque potestatis incita verunt, nihilo minus tamen speratarum commoditatum aior ext expectatio, quam veritas, in novero peius oppressa plebes magnam partem ies ipsis carere cogitur miseriarum solatiis, quae, compositis ad Christiana instituta rebus, facile et abundere perire potuisset, sed quod contra ordinem nituntur divina providentia constitutum, as dare solent superbiae poenas, ut ibi afflictam et miseram offendant fortunam, unde prosperam et ad vota fluentem temere expectavissent, ecclesia vero, quod homines obedire praecipue et maxime iubet sunno omnium principi Deo, iniuria et falso putaretur aut civili invidere potestati, aut sibi quicquam de iure principum arrogare, inno quod civili potestati aequam extred vere, id plane iudicio conscientiaque officii decernite esse reddendum, quod vero ad ipso Deo ius arcessit imperandi, magna extad civilem auctoritatem dignitatis accessio, et observantiae benevolentiae civium colligendae adiumentum non exiguum, eadem amica pacis, altrix concordiae, materna omnes caritate complectitur, et iuvandis mortalibus unice intenta, justitiam portere docet cum clementia, imperium cum aequitate, leges cum moderatione coniungere, nullius ius violandum, ordini tranquillitatique publicae serviendum, in opia miserorum, qua maxime fieri potest, privatim et publice sublevandam, sed propterea putant, ut verba usurpemus Augustini, vel putari volunt, Christianam doctrinam utilitati non convenire rei publicae, cuia nolunt starerem publicam firmitate virtutum, sed impunitate vitiorum, epist. XXV, al, ii, ad volusianum C, V maiuscola, numero 20 quibus cognitis, hoc esse civili prudentiae ad modum congruens, et incolumitati communi necessarium, principes et populos non cum assonibus ad labefactandam ecclesiam, sed cum ecclesia ad frangendos massonum impetus conspirare, ut cum querit, in hoc tam gravi ac nimis iam pervagato malo nostrarum ext partium, venerabiles fratres, applicare animum ad quae renda remedia cuia vero spem remedii optimam et firmissimam intelligimus esse in virtute sitam religionis divinae, quam tanto peius massones oderunt, quanto magis pertimescunt, ideo caput esse censemus saluberrimam istam adversus communem ostem advocatam adibere virtutem, itaque quae cumque Romani pontifices decessores nostri decreverunt inceptis et conatibus sectae massonum impediendis, quae cumque aut deterrendi ad eius modi societatibus aut revocandi causa sanxerunt, omnia nos et singularata habemus atque auctoritate nostra apostolica confirmamus, in quo quidem plurimum voluntate Christianorum confisi, per salutem singulo suam precamur quae sumusque, ut religioni habeant vel minimum adies discedere, quae ac de res edes apostolica praeceperit. Vos autem, venerabiles fratres, rogamus, flagitamus, ut collata nobis cum opera, extirpare impura mancluem quae serpit per omnes rei publicae venas, enix studiatis. Tuenda vobis ext gloria Dei, salus proximorum, quibus rebus indimicando propositis, non animus vos, non fortitudo deficet. Erit prudentiae vestrae iudicare, quibus potissimum rationibus ea, quae obstabunt et impedient, eluctanda videantur sed quoniam pro auctoritate efficii nostri par ext probabile maliquam rei gerendae rationem nos met ipsos demonstrare, sic statuite. Primum omnium reddendam assonibus esse suam, dempta persona, facem, populosque sermone et datis etiam in id litteris episcopalibus et docendos, quae sint societatum eius generis imblandiendo allicendoque artificia, et in opinionibus pravitas, et in actionibus turpitudo, quod pluries decessores nostri confirmarunt, nomen sectae massonum dare nemo sibi qua piam de causa licere putet, si catholica professio et salus sua tanti apud eum sit, quanti esse debet, nequem honestas assimulata decipiat, potest enim quibusdam videri, nihil postulare massones, quod aperte sit religionis morumve sanctitati contrarium, veruntamen cuia sectae ipsius tota invitio flagitioque ext et ratio et causa, congregare secum eis, eosve quoquo modo iuvare, rectum ext non licere. Deinde assiduitate dicendi ortandique per traere multitudinem oportet ad praecepta religionis diligentera discenda, quius rei gratia valde suademus, ut scriptis et concionibus tempestivis elementarerum sanctissimarum explanentur, quibus Christiana philosophia continetur, quod illuc pertinet, ut mentes hominum eruditione sanentur et contra multiplices errorum formas et varia invitamenta vitiorum uniantur, in ac praesertim et scribendi licentia et in exhausta aviditate discendi magnum sane opus, in quotamen particeps et socius laborum vestrorum praecipue futurus ext clerus, si fuerit, vobis ad nitentibus, a disciplina vitae, a scientia litterarum probe instructus. Verum tam honesta causa tamque gravis advocatam desiderat industriam virorum laecorum, qui religionis et patriae caritatem cum probitate doctrinaque coniungant. Consociatis utriusque ordinis viribus, date operam, venerabiles fratres, ut ecclesiam penitus et cognos cantomines et caram habeant, eius enim quanto cognitio fuerit amorque maior. Tanto futurum eius ext societatum clandestinarum fastidium et fuga quo circa non sine causa idonea manc occasionem nacti, renovamus illud quod alias exposuimus, ordinem tertium Franciscalium, quius Paulo ante temperavimus prudenti lenitate disciplinam, perquam studiose propagare tuerique oportere. Eius enim, ut ext ab auctore suo constitutus, aec tota ext ratio, vocare homines ad imitationem Iesu Christi, ad amorem ecclesiae, ad omnia virtutum Christianorum officia. Proptereaque multum posse debet ad societatum nequissimarum supprimendam contagionem. Noveturitaque quotidianis incrementis istaec sancta sodalitas, unde cum multi expectari possunt fructus, tum ille egregius, ut traducantur animi ad libertatem, ad fraternitatem, ad aequalitatem iuris, non qualia massones absurde cogitant. Sed qualia et Iesus Christus humano generi comparavit et Franciscus secutus ext, libertatem dicimus filiorum Dei, perquam nec satanae, nec cupiditatibus, improbissimis dominis, serviamus, fraternitatem, quius in Deo communio omnium procreatore et parente consistatorigo, aequalitatem, quae justitiae caritatisque constituta fundamentis, non omnia tollat inter homines discrimina, sed ex vitae, officiorum, studiorumque varietate mirum illum consensum efficiat et quasi concentum, qui natura ad utilitatem pertinet dignitatemque civilem. Tertio loco una quaedam res ext, a maioribus sapienter instituta, e ademque temporum cursu intermissa, quae tamquam exemplare et forma ad simile aliquid valere in praesentia potest scholas esse eu collegia opificum intelligimus, rebus simul et moribus, duce religione, tutandis. Quorum collegiorum utilitatem si maiores nostri diuturni temporis uso et periclitatione senserunt, sentiet fortasse magis aetas nostra, propterea quod singularem abenta delidendas sectarum vires opportunitatem, qui mercede manu umino piam tolerant, praeterquam quod ipsa eorum conditione uni ex omnibus sunt caritate solatioque dignissimi, maxime praeterea patent ille cebris grassantium per fraudes et dolos, quare iuvandi sunt maiore qua potest benignitate, et invitandi ad societates honestas, ne pertrantur ad turpes. Uius rei causa collegia illa magnopere vellemus auspiciis patrocinioque episcoporum, convenienter temporibus, ad salutem plebis passim restituta, nec mediocriter nos delectat, quod pluribus iam locis sodalitates eius modi, itemque coetus patronorum constituti sint, quibus propositum utrisque ext honestam proletariorum classem iuvare, eorum liberos, familias, praesidio et custodia tegere. In eisque pietatis studia, religionis doctrinam, cum integritate morum tueri in quo genere silere hoc loco nolumus illam spectaculo exemploque insimem, de populo inferioris ordinis tam prae clare meritam societatem, quae vincentio patre nominatur, cognitum ext quid agat, quid velit, scilicet tota in hoc ext, ut gentibus et calamitosis suppetias et ultro, idque sagacitate modestiaque mirabili, quae quo minus videri vult, eo ext ad caritatem Christiana melior, ad miseriarum levamen opportunior. Quarto loco, quo facilius id quod volumus assequamur, fidei vigilia eque vestrae maiorem in nodum commendamus juventutem, ut quae spes ext societatis humanae partem curarum vestrarum in eius institutione maximam ponite, nec providentiam putetis ullam fore tantam, qui in sit adibenda maior, ut ies adolescens actas prohibeatur et scholis et magistris, unde pestilens sectarum afflatus metuatur. Parentes, magistri pietatis, curiones inter Christianae doctrinae praeceptiones insistant, vobis auctoribus, opportune connonere liberos et alumnos Deius modi societatum flagitiosa natura, et ut mature cavere discantartes fraudulentas et varias, quasi arum propagatores usurpare ad illaqueandos homines consueverunt, inno qui adolescentulos ad sacra percipienda rite erudiunt, non inepte fecerint, si advocant singulos ut statuant ac recipiant, in scientibus parentibus, aut non auctore vel curione vol conscientiae iudice, nulla seunquam societate obligaturos, verum probe intelligimus, communes labores nostros evellendis is agro dominico perniciosis seminibus aut quaquam pares futuros, nisi caelestis dominus vineae ad id quod intendimus benigne adiuverit. Igiture ius opem auxiliumque implorare necesse ext studio vehementi ac sollicito, quale et quantum vis periculi et magnitudo necessitatis requirunt. Effert se insolenter, successu gestiens, secta masonum, nec ullum iam videtur pertinaciae factura modum. Asseclae eius universi nefario quodam foedere et occulta consiliorum communitate iuncti operam sibi mutuam tribuunt, et alteri alteros ad rerum malarum excitant audaciam. Oppugnatio tam vehemens propugnationem postulat parem, nimirum boni omnes amplissimam quandam coeant opus ext et agendi societatem et precandi. Ad eis itaque petimus, ut concordibus animis contra progredientem sectarum vim conferti in notique consistant, idemque multum gement estendant Deo manus supplices, ad eoque contendant, ut Christianum floreat vigeatque nomen. Necessaria libertate ecclesia potiatur, redeant ad sanitatem Dei, errores veritati, vitia virtuti aliquando concedant adiutricem et interpretem adibeamus Mariam Virginem Matrem Dei, ut quae a conceptu ipso Satanam vicit. Eadem se impertiat improbarum sectarum potentem, in quibus perspicuum ext contumaces illos mali daemonis spiritus cum indomita perfidia et simulatione reviviscere ob testemur principem angelorum caelestium, depulsorem ostium infernorum, Michaelem. Aitem Iosefum Virginis Sanctissimae sponsum, Ecclesiae Catholicae Patronum caelestem salutarem, Petrum et Paulum Apostolos Magnos, Fidei Christianae Satores et Vindices Invictos. Orum patrocinio et communium perseverantia precum futurum confidimus ut coniecto in tot discrimina hominum generi opportune Deus benigneque succurrat. Caelestium vero munerum et benevolentiae nostrae testem vobis, venerabiles fratres, clero populoque universo vigilantiae vestrae commisso apostolicam benedictionem per amanter in Domino impertimus. Datum Romae apud esse Petrum die XX aprilis an. Pontificatus nostri anno septimo. Leo Papa